Okay, I guess they can understand. They can hear us. So, hello everybody, this is CChub team, and we were very, very happy to work on this particular case study on concrete from Dakar. So the first thing we understood from the problem was that concrete wants to support a large number of entrepreneurs online, and they also wanted to be able to present a strong value proposition for their mentors in order to support this large platform. And the current situation is that they have a pilot phase basically with 20 mentors and a target of 20 entrepreneurs. So what we established to be the solution to this problem of a large online platform as well as having that many mentors to manage the system was a virtual incubation system or VIS. Essentially, this is a process of supporting startups that are mentees with mentors and collaborators online. Now, this process, VIS, involves a recruitment stage, an incubation stage, and an exit stage. Essentially, startups will be expected to achieve a predefined set of milestones and will be reviewed on a quarterly basis. So, at the incubation stage, there will be defined metrics that each startup will have to, deliver or achieve. And this is essentially the solution that we have proposed, that it will be a recruitment stage, an incubation stage, and then an exit stage. Now, at the recruitment stage, to recruit entrepreneurs, we established that there should be a pre-incubated or automated stage, which will be conducted quarterly. It would involve an online form application that will be open for 2 weeks, but that's obviously up to the team. And this stage would involve attracting quality candidates. So application questions would have minimum requirements that a startup that wanted to come into the program would have to meet. And essentially the aim would be to attract quality startups. And then there will be a filtering system to check the number of people, the types of startups that are coming up. And this will be done by an in-house team to review these applications. Now the second stage of this pre-incubation would involve a selection or screening, and that's an online face-to-face, which could be either through Skype or Google Plus or any other sort of video interaction interview. And then it will also involve matching the startup or the startup applicants to collaborators and or mentors. Possible collaborators could involve partners, investors, colleagues, funding partners, pretty much anyone that the team establishes that the startups would require. So that's the recruitment stage for the entrepreneurs, or the mentees as we're calling them. The recruitment stage for mentors, we established there should be a two-tiered membership system. We have two kinds of mentors essentially, which involve the advisors. We call them advisors because these are experienced professionals who are interested in investing time and resources into startups. And the other type of mentors, and these are more top-level mentors, are entrepreneurs and professionals with limited time, but they still want to give back. So perhaps they would have only 2 hours a month or 3 hours a month for essentially advising these startups. So that's what we propose, that the recruitment for mentorship would involve recruiting into 2 levels. Now, what kind of value proposition would you present to recruit them? For the advisors, we established that advisors could be recruited from the CTIC's network and also from the alumni network, and this is obviously in the long term in case of the alumni network. Advisors could also be recruited by offering them an equity of the startup, so perhaps 1 to 3%, as well as a chance to move to overseer mentorship and a mentorship integration platform, essentially where they can, discuss ideas, meet other mentors and advisors, that sort of thing. So this is essentially what we can use to attract mentors, telling them that they can have an equity stake, they have a chance to be higher level mentors, and that they have a chance to form a very strong network with other like-minded professionals. For the overseers, that's the professionals that have a little limited time, so they have less time than the advisors, you can also offer them involvement and access perhaps to other startups that they can early stage startups, as well as involvement in that special area of specialty and interest. So this is recruitment for mentors and recruitment for entrepreneurs. Now the next stage, which is the incubation stage, that's where the real work starts. We established that this should take up a maximum of a year and involve regular reviews. Because how else are you going to check if you're not going to be able to check, assess their progress? So there has to be regular reviews. It has to happen over a maximum of a year. And milestones and metrics have to be defined from the very beginning. So that means every single startup that has been selected pre-incubation stage, they would have to decide what are the milestones that you have to achieve over the next 6 months to a year, and this has to be defined by the team as well as the concrete team. Now this would involve a development process. So for instance, for the first month, there would be a sign-up of the screen startup, and then perhaps in the second or third month, you would have a business model canvas where they basically go over the model and decide how all the facets of the business plan essentially. Then the most basic version of their product or their service that meets the proposed needs, that the minimum viable product, that stage has to be reached over time. And then other stages like testing their minimum viable product, launching a pilot product, as well as business and marketing strategy, even training. And now training can happen throughout the entire incubation period. So all of these development process stages has to happen over a set period of time. But we established that a year is long enough for any business to have reached basically marketing strategy. So in that case, the entrepreneurial process for incubation involves a year with defined milestones and a development process that each startup has to attain to be a viable business. Now for the mentors, incubating them is essentially what we refer to as retaining. And this involves a mentor rating system. So mentors would be rated by the startups that they are advising. The vesting mentor state, which means they have to defend having their equity. So this will also encourage mentors, advisors, and overseers to actually to do what they're expected to do, to advise, to check on, to meet with the startup as regularly as agreed. And finally, the concrete administration and tracking will also help to keep the mentors on track so that they don't perhaps go offline or pretty much do the other things they're expected to do. So this is what we propose is how the team will maintain their mentors during the incubation stage. Now finally, startups at some point will have to leave the platform, and that is what we call the exit stage. This is the establishment of alumni from the entrepreneurs, and alumni essentially occur because they have achieved their metrics over time. So during each review, every milestone they have achieved. And basically we gave examples of metrics. For instance, the size of the team, the partnerships that the team has formed, the number of users, especially active users of the product, as well as the revenue. So if a team is not increasing revenue or has reached the target annual recurring revenue, it probably hasn't actually made it hasn't reached its achievement milestone. So alumni, people, once the startups actually graduate, those entrepreneurs could then move on into the alumni network. Naturally, some startups do not achieve their milestones periodically. So after the first or second or even third review, perhaps it's time to establish that startup could be a dropout. And this is basically the two kinds of exit strategies, those that achieve their milestones and those that do not. And on the overseer and the advisors angle, the rating system feedback is how we would determine if mentors would opt out. So if they were low rated, then it's perhaps okay for them to opt out. So essentially, the action steps that we are proposing for Concrete is that for the recruitment stage, they should collaborate with TTIC for access to advisors and mentors. They should also create an information package for advisors and mentors to detail the program and the benefits to these mentors. The value that you're proposing to these people should be in the information package. We also established that they should have an online dashboard that is managed by Concrete that tracks milestones and metrics and manages the startup's development over time. So throughout the incubation, all of the stages that they're supposed to have gone through, this platform that will be easily observed on the dashboard. And then finally, they should think about building an alumni network, essentially contact details, just keeping up with that group and maintaining and establishing a network that they can tap into in the future. So that's what we would propose that they should do in order to achieve and basically maintain this online platform with very strong, good quality mentors. So all the best. I hope this has helped them. Thank you.
Thank you.